Hello world, today I would like to show you how to turn this into this. So here is the session. Let's start by listening to the original recording. And this is just me crumbling and tearing paper in my room. Not an ideal recording environment, but it gets the job done. Here is the raw track. I did some basic EQ cleanup, mainly cutting some low frequency to remove rumbles and room tone, just to get a cleaner starting point. This is the only sound source I used to build all the effects you will hear today. And since we are designing all the sound effects for the champ Nami, and most of her abilities have to do with water, and the skin line is called deep sea, so that's something that we really need to focus on. And for today, I'm going to show you two important elements I designed. One is the sparkling layer that plays when she casts abilities. And the other is the bubbling water texture that fits her theme. Let's break each one down. So first up is the sparkling high-end sound that plays when Nami casts an ability. So let's disable all the effects for now and just hear the bass crumble sound again. So step 1, I applied another EQ to roll off more of the lows. We don't need them for the high frequency sparkle. Then I used a denoiser to clean up some of the residue hiss. Next, I add a limiter and push the gain up about 10 dBs. This brings out the quieter texture. And right after that, I used RX declip just to ensure no clipping artifacts coming through after that gain boost, just to reinforce. Then comes pitch shifting. I push the sound up 2 octaves to get into a bright frequency range. And after pitch shifting, right now it sounds like this. The sound is a bit harsh, so I used I'm Spectral Dynamic, specifically the denoiser section. I used it sort of like a gate, only for the higher frequency to pass through. This gives the sparkle a clean, more controlled feel. To give it a life, I added Serum FX. Hyper, it gives more depth, dimension. Phasers, it gives more movement, and compressor to make it more even. And after that, let's play it, see what it sounds like. So currently we have this one problem, which is the dynamic range is too large to work as a game audio. So I add this compressor with a very low threshold and with 1:4 ratio. After that, let's give it a listen. Now it sounds very even. After I add a reverb to it with a very high mix ratio and a long decay time as this just a sparkling effect. So my process is if I got a sound to a working level, I'll stop doing it. Use it as a sound bank. I can always go back and retrieve part of it and do some adjustment to make it more fit to the situation. One of the benefit from doing that, it gives the character a unique, consistent sound that entirely tied to them. And this way it doesn't sound like we just grabbing random audio from all over the places. So now let's move on to the bubbling watery texture. Like before, I started with EQ, but this time I preserved more of the low. We want that soft and underwater feel. I followed it with the same denoiser, limiter, and declip combo. Here I add an Ozone 11 spectral shaper, which works like a multiband compressor but allows tonal targeting. It's used to emphasize lower frequency and round out the texture. Without moving any further, now let's have a listen on the effects that we have. And to bring this to life, I add phases, a phaser by Native Instrument for the underwater wobble and motion sound. After that, I use the multiband compressor to smooth it out. And some of the parameter can be definitely changed to make it more suitable for the situation. And now let's show you guys some of my implementation. So for example, let's take the swing action, how I layered it, how I used the sound that I designed. So let's have a listen. Turn on the video, put it up. Okay, so now let's see the top layer, which is the sparkling effects. Now for the swing sound, the body of the swing sound, I use the paper tearing part of the recording, and it has this own effects chain. I'm not going to go very detailed on it. It's pretty much similar process, but changed parameters. I layered a couple of them. As you can see, if I disable all of it, you can hear the original recording. Now with a different layer, different process, parameter changes, and also some automations. And those water effects. And then we added them all together. Let me single this. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna stop here before I turn this into a 20 minutes video. So let me know if you find this helpful, and I'll play the sound design thing again. And thank you very much for watching.